Thanks for joining me. It's lunchtime, 12:15, and as I was walking around Lake Eden, I noticed that the black swans were nesting, and I met an elderly lady who's a subscriber of mine. She said, "Charles, they've got young." So we watched them, and there's 4 little signets. I've set up, I'm using the Fotopro E7 Camo-Eagle tripod. I took a couple of photos. When I first got here, I'm parked on the other side of the lake just to see if I could take all my video from the other side of the lake. And at the exact same time, the male started flapping its wings and took off. But I got one especially nice photo. It's definitely a keeper, and most likely one that I'll print and put in my office. Wings outspread, its legs kicking back, splashing, amazing. Check out some of the video that I've taken here. Mum's sitting back down on the nest here, but before she was up, just checking out her chicks. I think there's still a few more eggs there, that's why she's still on the nest. Well, I was having a great time that morning taking photos and videos of this pair of swans. As you can see, I'm in my office because my Sony's EV1 decided to stop, and no matter which battery I put in, it just wouldn't turn on. This is why I'm doing the rest of the video here in my office. And as you could see in the videos, I had a great time capturing videos of this Australian black swan looking after its 4 signets. And here are just a few photos that I took of her looking after her signets. And these photos to me are so special because they show like a mother's care for their young. She's got her neck down and is just looking over her young. It just shows so much care and love that a mother has for her young. And this is why I just love taking photos and taking videos of wildlife. And once I'd finished photographing these black swans, because I'd been there for quite a while, I decided to walk back to the car. And as I walked back, I noticed this intermediate egret just hunting, just searching for food. I quickly set myself up on the boardwalk and was just following it, hoping to get a couple of photos of it while it was hunting for food. And then it got spooked and took off. And I was lucky enough to get a couple of photos of it as it took off. And then it landed a bit of a distance away from me. But because I'm using the 1.4 teleconverter on my Nikon Z6 with the 200 to 500, I've got a focal range of up to 700 millimeters. It gives me that extra extension without going into crop mode. And I got this series of images of the egret as it was landing on the far side of the lake. I was only using 5.5 frames per second, which is continuous high. And I got this set of 11 images of this egret landing. It's a very nice set of images. And the last image here is of it just landing. It's got its wings folded back again. And this is 5.5 frames per second in real time. Then as I was walking back to my car, because my car was on the other side of the lake, I saw an Australian darter on one of the used Australian black swan nests. Darters and cormorants are very different to ducks, that they need to dry off. They can't stay wet all the time because they just can't fly away. So they preen themselves and they stretch out their wings to dry themselves before they can go back in the water and hunt for more fish. The next day I decided to go back out, and this time instead of using my tripod, I decided just to take my monopod because I knew I was going to walk around a bit. I'd seen quite a bit of bird life in that short time that I was there the day before. So on this day, I decided that I was just going to take the monopod, walk around, hoping to get a few photos and a bit of video of the black swans, but also see what other bird life was around. The first bird that I photographed that morning was an Australian swamp hen, and it was just walking along, getting towards me. And these swamp hens have very large toes. And then it moved up on the grass and decided to take some video And I've said before that taking video with my monopod is a bit difficult because I suffer from tremors in the hands, and I was able to get a bit of video of this swamp hen just feeding. You can see like it's using its beak, grabbing some grass, and then holding the piece of grass with its foot. And here are some close-up images of it. Look at the size of its beak. It's not very pointed like an egret or a songbird. It is very robust, and it has to be robust, and it has to be very thick to dig into the ground. This one here, you can see that it's grabbed the grass and it's holding the grass in its left foot while it's chewing on the parts of the grass that it wanted to eat. Then I walked a bit further along the lake because I'd heard that the swans were near the coffee shop. This is where everybody congregates to watch the local bird life. And you'd see here, this is mum and dad. They'd hatched 5 signets. The day before there was 4. I stated that she was still on the nest because as soon as she feels that the other eggs aren't going to hatch, she'll get off the nest and move away from the nest. And they'll never come back to that nest again. They'll never use that nest again. You can see there's quite a few other water birds around here. This is a hardhead. It is in the duck family, but we just call it a hardhead. Not a hardhead duck, just a hardhead. But I captured this one just as its wings were coming out. And all these photos were also taken at 5.5 frames per second. And here is a photo of just some of the water birds that were down there this morning. We have got Pacific black ducks, we've got a hardhead, we've got a moorhen. This is a great cormorant. We don't see too many of these at Lake Eden. What we do see a lot is this black cormorant here. And we also see some little pied cormorants. And this welcome swallow just landed quite close to me. I just got a couple of photos, and this one here is really cute. It's just looking up towards the sky. I decided to test my patience out and take a bit more video of the Australian black swans with their cygnets just swimming around this part of the lake here. You can see now there's 5 little cygnets tailing down, and you can see there's another black swan there. It's a young female from the previous season. They're just swimming along. Neither water bird can get close to them. As soon as another duck or whatever type of water bird gets close to them, they will fight them off very quickly. They are very protective, very aggressive if any bird comes towards their young cygnets. And here is a series of images that I took of them while they were in this area here. You can see the 5 little cygnets here. They're just tailing mum or dad. A close-up of the 5 little cygnets here. They look so beautiful in this stage here. They're all nice and fluffy. Here, mum or dad is just preening themselves. The young cygnets are beside them. And these images here, this is what I like to try to photograph. They clean themselves and then they will spread their wings out to dry themselves. They'll just flap along. Wings outspread. Look at the wingspan that these, because as they wings stretch out, they also come in very quickly and they're like pointing to the sky. Then when I was just leaving, I got a photo of this little pied cormorant in a tree. They go up in trees to dry themselves off like the Australian darter did. But this one here was facing me, so I got a couple of very nice photos of it as it was preening itself, drying itself off, and then I zoomed in, and you can see now the head, and you can see the tip of its beak, its hooked shape. This is how they hold the... And even though I was using the monopod, I got a little bit of video here of it drying itself. Then as I was walking back towards where I parked the car, I saw these superb fairy wrens just on the path, just hopping along. This is a female superb fairy wren. This one here is a male fairy wren. It's just going from its winter plumage to its breeding plumage here. You can see there's just a little bit of blue on it. This is the same young fairy wren because it had just been hopping along, so I was just tracking it. Here it is, just chirping away in a tree, then looking at me. Every park has woolly wagtails, and this little woolly wagtail was just chirping its head off. Beak is wide open and it's just singing its song. It's just very nice to hear and very nice to get a couple of photos of it. And this is the last bird that I photographed that morning, an egret just hunting away in the shallows of a retaining pond beside Lake Eden here. I braced myself along the post of the boardwalk just so I could get a bit more stable video. And it was just nice watching this egret just as it's walking along, looking for food. You can see it's just very intent. Its eyes are just focused on any sort of small movement that it can see as it's moving along this little retaining pond. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Stay safe, enjoy your bird life photography or videography like I do, and I'll see you next time when I'm out and about.